Hakadosh Bokor, we're just going to continue with Halachot now of Kaddish. Yesterday we were speaking about the concept of taking the 3 steps back, and we brought down that the Shita of the Shulchan Aruch is to take 3 steps back. We said that the Matei Yehuda learned in the Shulchan Aruch that it's only the Shliach Tzibur, and therefore it's only Kaddish Titkabal. However, though, our minhag was like whether it's the Temanim and also the Pshat of Maran, which is always to take 3 steps back. Today we're going to speak about the previous halakha. The previous halakha in Shulchan Aruch speaks about kriyot. Kriyot means when you bow. So we know that the Shulchan Aruch brings down that you're supposed to do chamesh kriyot, you're supposed to bow 5 times throughout the Amidah. And he brings down whether it's going to be that you're going to bow down when you say the word Yitgadal, and then when you're going to say Yesh Shomer Haba, Yitbarach, Berichu, and then V'imru Amen, which is the last Amen. So those are going to be 5 times that you bow throughout the Amidah. The Gaon Mivilna brings down that you're not supposed to bow, during the Kaddish. Right? The Gaon Mivilna says you're not supposed to bow during the Kaddish. He says the reason why is because since in Siman Kuf Yud Gimel we learn that there's a certain amount of times that you're supposed to bow, and any time that it's not written to bow, you're not supposed to bow. And that's the reason for not bowing by Barechu, if you remember that we spoke about in the past. And therefore, because of that, says the Gaon Mivilna, you're not supposed to bow. Because of this, it's actually brought down in Pudat al-Azhar. This is one of the Sefarim of Morocco, of the city of Rabat. Rabbi al-Azhar al-Lavi made Rabat. He comes and he says, and this brought down also the Magen Avot and Zochrirot and Sidur Avotenu and everything else. The minhag of Morocco was not to bow at all, even though there were certain medaktikim that they would bow. And that's why if you look around, the majority of people are not bowing during the Kaddish, even though minhag of Tunisia was to bow. So therefore, the Tunisians do bow throughout the entire Kaddish, and the Moroccans do not bow. Now, either one or the other, they will still turn to the right and left by Bechayechon of Yomechon, Bechayechon Bet Yisrael, they will turn to the center. That was done by everybody. The next halakha is going to be, okay, fine. So we spoke about taking the 3 steps back at the middle, in the end of the Midah. We spoke about whether it's going to be bowing. What about with your feet together, or to which kivun, to which direction? So some people, they became choli nefesh, right? They became very, very strict that they, to the east. There's no mekor in the Rishonim. You have to go to the east. I remember when I was a child, I was probably even at the age of 6 or 7, I was in a Bet Knesset just like this, that everyone was different, and you had the people that are standing here saying Kaddish there, the people that are standing there saying the Kaddish there, the people there saying the Kaddish there, and the people here saying the Kaddish over there. That was the minhag, and there's no mekor either in the Rishonim or anywhere that you have to say it to the east. The Piskei Teshuvah brings down something very interesting. He says, since we compare it to the Amidah, so therefore you should do it. So let's first start with the putting the feet together. Rav Ovadia says that since it's almost like Amidah, it's proper to put the feet together, which means there's no obligation to put the feet together for Kaddish. And again, as a child, I always remember, there was no such thing as putting the feet together. They would come and they would say Kaddish like this, just standing, 2 feet, completely separate, never together. There is no obligation to put it together. Again, it is proper, it is better to, but it's not a chovah, it's not an obligation. We have to know when it's an obligation, when it's halakha, and when is it better to do so. So here it's better to put the feet together, and because of that, says the Piskei Teshuvot, that since you already put the feet together, and everything, so you should say it to the east. However, though, there was no such mekor, and he himself brings it down. I'll read to you his lashon, just that he says it, and it's also brought down, if you remember. I remember once I actually was having a conversation also with Rabbi Koskas, and we were both saying, and we both said, no, the east, over there. I purposely, I don't know if you realize, sometimes I'm saying Kaddish this way, and I purposely do it to show you that you do not need to go to the east, right? Why? Because you don't need to. There's no such halakha that you need to do it. So here he brings down, En lazem makor lo barishonim velo ba'acharonim, right? There's no makor, not in the rishonim, not in the acharonim, that you have to come and you start going to the east. There's no such thing. So because of that, obviously, again, in the halakha, mitzad halakha, obviously it's better that everyone comes together at the teva, so you're always at the same pace. That, yes, because if you're at the teva, everyone is at the same pace, and it's not one forwards and one backwards, and everyone's saying to their own tune and their own speed. That 100%. However, though, when we're talking about mitzad halakha, right, whether it's Birkat Levana or any other place, you do not need to turn to the east, right? If you want to, you can, but I could turn to the west as well. There's no halakha that you need to turn to the east. And number 2, also, the feet together, again, it's proper to, but you're not obligated to. And to do the kriyot, we already said, everybody does b'chayechon v'yomechon. They go to the right and to the left, right? And you go to the center. However, though, to do the kriyot, only the Menachtekim used to do it, or the Tunisians. However, minhag of Morocco was not to do the kriyot. They wouldn't bow whatsoever throughout the entire Kaddish.
Tana de Belial